and I hope we will see you next. Thank you so much for watching. Right?
Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah. Hi everyone! Welcome back to another episode on Live Conversations. In today's episode, we will be talking about thematic weddings in the Industrial Chic theme. So Helen is here again from Rosette Designs Co. So if you have not seen the first video of the thematic wedding mood board video, you can actually go see it, and I'll put the link at the description box down below. Okay, so let me go through again on what exactly is the wedding thematic mood board. So if you follow closely on Labelle's social media handles, you will know that every Tuesday we actually uploaded this sort of like a very thematic slideshow, like a Pinterest inspired video to let all couples who are looking for a wedding theme, or you are looking for a specific theme, we will give you like reference on the props, the decor, like the things that you need. So if you want the full copy of the PDF, I will also put the link in the description box down below so that you can download the whole PDF for your reference. So for our today's theme, we will talk about the Industrial Chic. So share with us more, what exactly do we need?
So Industrial Chic are something that's very new and maybe it's very uncommon. The rise of this theme actually comes from, of course, Pinterest, where a lot of the venue in the US, like warehouse, they turn abandoned warehouse into a wedding venue. So that gives like very edgy look and it's very uncommon feel. In Singapore, I've seen over the years where a couple have the wedding in warehouse, and nowadays abandoned warehouses, they transform their venue into high ceiling, very nice chandelier, even like exposed brick, which give a very harsh contrast with all the dainty flower, dainty decor into a harsh texture. So that will give like a very interesting mood. So let's come Industrial Chic.
Yeah, which is the word chic, right?
Yes,
yeah, okay.
Industrial but chic.
Yeah. Okay, so Helen, maybe you can share with us what are the main color palette that you need in order to achieve this look.
So for Industrial Chic, right, depends on the venue, of course. But if your venue is more like a brick or warehouse, you can have a red vibe. There's two types. You can go to the warmer tone, which is red, yellow, gold, and even like neon lights. This could be the warm tone. You can also go to the other tone, which is very steely, very black and white, and just exposed white brick. Then you have a rustic feel, foliage. Yeah, you can go both. So for the props itself, right, you can have a backdrop. So of course, it's nice if the venue itself already have an industrial feel. But if the venue doesn't have industrial feel, right, maybe you have it in the ballroom, a little hard to make it industrial. But what you can do is you can have a neon light. You know, neon light gives like the feel of
underground,
yeah. Like very
rugged. I don't know, like it just gives that very
unwedding feel.
Yeah,
right? Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a more like unstructured flower in the backdrop, maybe you can have like even more branches, rustic, and the backdrop maybe is not so polished. The wooden can be or even metal steel. Like metal steel that will be perfect for Industrial Chic.
Yeah. Okay. So also you mean by, if you talk about the flowers, because I understand usually like the flowers must be very like round, very in shape. So when it comes to Industrial Chic, it can be like just very wild and
yes, it's unstructured and also could be very loose. And when you arrange the flower, it's not so structured and it's not so round. So the other elements also, maybe you can use like even pampas. You can use wood or branches. And even like just the foliage, it doesn't have to have flowers.
Oh, okay.
Actually, for industrial, there is no hard and fast rule about Industrial Chic. So I think those elements play a part. So you can also play it in the detail, like a metal element, like this, right? The metal candle and geometric also
yes.
geometric shape,
Structures,
structure
right.
give that very industrial look. Like
Right.
you see, maybe something like this one, right? It's not perfect. I mean, their texture also is not very polished, but it gives very strong contrast with the flower inside.
Yeah. So because like the industrial is very like hardscape, and then the florals inside is very softscape. So it's like a contrast of
Yes.
like hard and soft.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the main element of industrial chic.
Helen, so sometimes I do see photos, right, on Pinterest and stuff. They do have like metal wall grids. They even have like those metal racks for displays. Like, what about all this? Like, is it like an extra element that I think it will add a bit more pop to the whole wedding theme?
Yeah, I mean for industrial chic, right, metal or even raw materials, brass, copper, it plays a part. So if you have metal rack, even if you bring in your own metal rack, it could be adding that very interesting element. And also acrylic, because acrylic, well, it is not a common wedding materials, right? But over the year it gained traction because as you have the laser cut name, and then you can also have it in on the photo display, the acrylics. Then yeah, you can also spray color. Yeah, so it's quite interesting to play around with the materials.
Wow, that's fun. Okay.
So this theme is not very common. Of course, you can create yourself, but I think you really need to have a cohesive look from the beginning to the end.
Okay.
And so it's not easy. So I think having a professional like supplier or even professional contractor like us vendors, right? It helps to achieve this look. When it comes to a backdrop, when it comes to like metal, rock and everything, it's easier. I mean, if you have somebody that already have
Experience.
already have the product itself. I mean the backdrop. Other than you have to customize.
Right.
So having to customize it can cost a lot. It can also help in the budgeting when you do rental.
Right.
Yeah, structured rentals and even and even props rental.
But what about like, okay, if you talk about acrylic boards, I really think about maybe going to an art place to purchase the big boards and then I will just like do it myself. But what is your view in that?
I think for acrylic you need a professional laser cutter.
Oh,
to
laser
even
cutter.
Yeah, you cannot really cut yourself. So this theme a bit tricky to DIY.
Yeah,
Yes,
a
a bit
bit.
tricky to DIY. Also for this theme, it's better if your venue already somehow industrial. So if you wanna create this look but in a ballroom, it might be a little challenging, but what you can do is you can assign like a spot where you have a backdrop, like maybe backdrop with neon lights or with metal rod and all. So it gives like a more ruggedy feel in that corner. So it's not the whole entire ballroom you need to decorate.
I get what you mean. Okay, but Helen, okay, so you see, for me, I mean for our younger generations, like for people like us, we like all this very raw, very like edgy look, very rugged, right? But what about like for maybe our in-laws, our parents? Then as parents, they're like, why you want to make until your wedding so like rugged like that, like run down? What is your view on that?
Yes, like, I think that's quite a good questions, like quite good concern, because people might not comfortable to the theme of having a warehouse wedding. Like what is a warehouse wedding,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
But now I think with the rise of venue that is very chic, the industrial but chic, I think parents has also trying to understand the style of a youngster.
Right.
So what I will suggest is still have a tea ceremony, still have a wedding tradition, even though you have it in a warehouse, and also tell them that it is a new trend. I mean, sometimes old people, they are more open if you say, okay, this is my wedding, it's a new trend, and as long as you give respect. Let's say your parents don't like very black and very pantang, so please avoid those things and have like element of red, prosperous red, and even if you want to have a ruggedy feel, you can have it as a photo backdrop. Because photo backdrop is it's very fun, and you don't have to put it together.
Right, okay. So I mean, because technically the photos like corner, like the place will be at a corner, so it's not entirely all like rugged in a way, right?
In a way. So Sam, this is a very interesting theme. What kind of gown that goes to this theme?
Wow, okay. If we talk about gowns, Labelle has a few selections, and I think when it comes to industrial chic, what I'm thinking of is something like satin.
Oh wow.
Okay, something like just plain satin with like a bit of polyester, even like a bit of tulle. like lace, just a bit of lace around your like area, like the bust area. And I think, okay, what do you think, Helen? Like when you're telling me all this, I'm just thinking about mermaid cut. Like mermaid cut dresses.
Yes, it's because mermaid cut is very structured also,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. It looks good, especially for couple that takes this theme. Usually they're very confident, very bold, and there's a structure, very clean cut.
Yes.
Yeah, I think to have a clean cut is good for this theme.
Right, and I think, okay, because since you're talking about industrial chic, even like some couples, they want to go for something like an A-line, like a very soft with long train. I think it's also very nice.
Yes, also very nice.
Yeah, because the whole industrial like warehouse theme is so like rugged and hard, and then all of a sudden the bride comes in with a very soft, long, flowy dress. I think it's a contrast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, maybe for the groom, you can have very trendy suit. You know, like the crop pants. You know, I think.
Okay. Like those, like nowadays you see those hipster businessmen.
Hipster groom wear crop pants, and then even like colored suit, not just black and white. Like, I think it's very nice. Like even like a red suit, I think is great.
I think it's very nice.
Yes,
like, and some more, if like for example, if the couples they have this industrial, like they have roses around, and then the groom is wearing red. Wow, it's like, okay, technically it's very cohesive.
Yes. And this industrial look like reminds me of Hong Kong. You know the Wong Kar-wai film?
Oh yes.
Very red
like
and
alley,
very alley, right?
Yeah.
So like Wong Kar-wai. It could be good for those people those couple whose parents a bit objective about having a warehouse wedding. You can throw in this Hong Kong element.
Yes, that's true. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's to meet like everybody's needs. So if like parents they want tea ceremony, okay, fine, we will give you the tea ceremony, but in return we want our industrial chic wedding.
Yes.
So it's like a give and take thing.
Yeah. So in conclusion, in order for you to have industrial chic, you also need to take note of the venue itself. If it's better if your venue is already have this vibe, right? And if you, let's say, don't want to spend a lot of money to decorate the whole ballroom, you can just focus on certain area, and you can do a photo backdrop with this theme. Have a neon light, have a metal grid, and even like unstructured flowers, and maybe the fashion will be more important, like the trendy fashion of a bride and groom. So I think that's our tip for this.
Yeah. Alright guys, thank you so much Helen for coming here again, just to share with us so much of your professional advice. Again, we really
my pleasure always.
And we enjoyed like all the explanation. I can feel the passion, in even I have the passion really. I can feel it really.
Transfer.
Yeah, transfer. Okay, so of course if you guys want more of the thematic wedding videos, you can always follow us on our social media platform. Also download the PDF if you want to know more. I'll put the link at the description box down below. For more information about wedding decor, wedding planning, I will put Rosette Designs Co's social media handles and all their information also at the description box down below. Alright, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys will come back again and we will see you soon. Bye!
Bye!